In the white sea above the clouds, hidden among the floating islands, there existed a forgotten village called the Cloud-Hidden Village. This was the last refuge of the Shandia people, who for 400 years had never given up their dream of reclaiming their homeland. Around the central bonfire of the village, warriors gathered to listen to their elder tell ancient stories. 400 years ago, our ancestor Kalgara protected the golden city of Shandora, the most beautiful city in the world. Among the listeners sat a silent man wearing a wooden mask. His eyes were sharp as knives, his arms covered with battle scars. This was Wiper, the strongest warrior of the Shandia, and direct descendant of the great warrior Kalgara. The elder turned to Wiper. The divine soldiers of Enel have destroyed the eastern altar again. Wiper slowly stood up, a cold smile visible beneath his mask. Then they will pay the price. He walked to the weapon rack and took out his specially crafted burn blade, its interior lined with sea stone from Wano country. His secret weapon against devil fruit users. A young warrior named Kamakiri asked with concern, "Are you going to use that?" Wiper pulled out a peculiar shell, the projectile. This forbiddens weapon passed down through generations of Shandia, possessed enough power to destroy mountains, but each use caused tremendous damage to the user's body. To take back Shandora, this small price means nothing. Just as Wiper prepared to depart, the village lookout sounded an alarm. A ship from the Blue Sea has entered the sacred land. Wiper narrowed his eyes. For 400 years, people from the Blue Sea had brought nothing but disaster to the Shandia. From Nolan's betrayal to Enel's tyranny, eliminate them all, he said coldly. At the edge of the sacred land, the Going Merry was slowly landing on the sea of clouds. The Straw Hat Pirates marveled at this dreamlike floating world. "So this is Skypiea? Amazing!" Luffy shouted excitedly. Suddenly, a streak of fire cut through the sky, striking the Mary's mast. "Enemy attack!" Zoro immediately drew his sword. Wiper appeared above the clouds, smoke still rising from the barrel of his burned blade. Behind him, dozens of Shandia warriors had surrounded the area. "Leave this place, Blue Sea dwellers," Wiper's voice came through his mask. "This is not where you belong." As battle seemed inevitable, a winged horse descended from the sky. "Stop, Wiper!" It was the former god Ganfall, the white-haired old man stood between the two groups. "They are not our enemies," Wiper snorted. "A traitor of Skypiea has no right to lecture me." But he still signaled his warriors to withdraw. Before leaving, he gave Luffy a long look. "Don't get in our way, or we'll eliminate you too." Enel's cruel game soon began. 81 participants were dropped onto the sacred land for a battle to the death. Wiper moved alone through the dense forest. His target clear, eliminate the priests to weaken Enel's forces. "Found you," Wiper said as he encountered Shura, priest of the string trial, riding his flame-winged bird. "A Shandia rat dares participate in God's game?" Shura mocked. Wiper didn't waste words, immediately activating his projectile. The terrifying shockwave instantly destroyed all trees within 100 meters, killing Shura's bird on the spot. "This can't be." Shura collapsed, blood pouring from his mouth. Wiper staggered, blood trickling from his lips. The projectile's backlash had begun, but he paid it no mind. Next, when Wiper finally stood before Enel, his body had reached its limit. "Interesting," Enel lounged on his throne. "You actually made it this far. Return Shandora to us." Wiper roared as he attacked. He activated his special sea stone ice skates, closing the distance to Enel instantly. His burn blade's projectiles passed through the god's body, but Enel only laughed contemptuously. "Useless." Lightning pierced through Wiper's chest. He fell to his knees, but still struggled to stand. "Why such persistence?" Enel asked, uncharacteristically curious. Wiper's vision filled with childhood stories, Kalgara waiting for his friend. 400 years of his people's sacrifices. Because this is the Shandia's pride. With his last strength, he activated the projectile for the third time. As Luffy carried the golden pillar toward the giant vine, The dying Wiper finally understood. So that's it you're doing this for. He remembered Nolan's story, remembered cricket waiting on the blue sea. Take this, Kalgara. The final projectile blast shattered the giant vine. Clearing the path for Luffy, Wiper collapsed, listening as the sound of the golden bell spread across the heavens. This is enough. When Chopper came to treat his wounds, the man known as the demon smiled for the first time. The light of Shandora had finally been reignited. The war that had lasted for 100 years came to an end. With the ringing of the golden bell, Wiper, who had fought so fiercely to reclaim his homeland, at last found peace knowing his ancestors' wishes had been fulfilled. The Shandia people could finally return to their sacred land, and the legend of Nolan the Liar was finally put to rest. As the sun rose over Skypiea, a new era began for both the Shandia and the Sky people. United at last under the shared sky of their floating island home,